What up, AOK Mafia? It's your boy Artofkickz, and just like that, we back with another one. Alright, y'all, so we got a video here today. This is an officer... Wait, hold on. An officer what? Detaining. I was about to use a different word. Detaining a citizen for trespassing at his own home. How does that even work? We about to find out. That boys, girls ready? I'm ready. Let's
Welcome
go.
to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions.
Oh, really?
Today's episode features a highly requested video and comes to us from the City of Boulder's official website. Be sure to check out the description below for links to the unedited version. Let's dive right in and audit the interaction. On March 1st, 2019, Naropa University student Zaid Atkinson was picking up trash outside of his dorm building as a part of his work-study program, where he was contacted by Officer
Work-study program. It sounds like he got played.
John Smiley of the Boulder Police Department in Boulder, Colorado.
I couldn't help but notice you're just sitting on the patio out there. What's that? I couldn't help but notice you're sitting on the patio behind this building. Yeah. And there's signs for no trespassing, private property, that kind of thing.
Oh, what the heck is up with his hair?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what you were doing, if you lived here or you worked here. It looks like you're working, doing something, picking stuff up. Oh,
He said, yeah, I live here and I work here.
okay, gotcha. What's the actual address then?
33 Arapahoe.
Okay, what unit are you in?
I don't think I have to actually tell you that.
Well, I'm just checking to make sure that you have a right to be here, that's all.
I just told you I lived here.
Okay.
And I told you that I'm working as well.
Okay.
Shouldn't that be enough for you?
Well, I gotta verify it, just so I know that you do in fact live here.
Kidding me? What do you need from me?
If you have an ID with your address on it, that'd be great.
Believe me, man.
Well, we've had some stuff going on in this area. I'm just
I
doing
know.
my job, just making sure you belong here, and if you do, then great, and I'll be on my way. Okay. Do you have anything with your address on it?
Yo, look, man. Here,
Hey,
why don't you follow
Just
me
relax.
and I'll just leave the building, dude.
According to the police report, this is the point in the interaction where Officer Smiley officially detains Mr. Atkinson. Until this moment, the interaction between Officer Smiley and Mr. Atkinson was considered consensual. It is important to note that Officer Smiley never stated why he believed Mr. Atkinson may have been trespassing. Nowhere in his police report does Officer Smiley relay any information which would suggest that Mr. Atkinson did not belong on the property. The independent internal review of the interaction
This is cops effing up. That's what the name of this video gonna be.
conducted by Special
Cops not doing their job correctly.
Counsel Bob Troyer and two Bluestone Investigative and Risk Solutions representatives concluded that Officer Smiley based his reasonable suspicion primarily on the facts that Mr. Atkinson had no ID with his address on it, and that Mr. Atkinson turned and looked toward the address on the front of the dormitory when he told Officer Smiley his address. The report went on to note that Mr. Atkinson did not read the address, but rather he gestured toward it demonstratively, and even if he did read it, that would not have constituted reasonable suspicion when the totality of circumstances are considered.
Just chill out, man.
Dude, this is ridiculous.
I'm just asking you if you have something with your address on it, then that would help me.
No, I don't. How am I
Okay.
supposed to have something with my address on
Well,
it?
a lot of people have a
They
driver's
they
license.
just carry something with their address on it?
I mean, even with your driver's license, like my driver's license don't have my address on it. Like, I moved.
Yeah, an ID.
It's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah. So, Mr. Atkinson, can I get your date of birth, please?
Why?
I just need to verify who you are.
He ain't told this man yet what he want with him.
That you belong here, that you have a right to be here. Okay?
Are you kidding me, man?
Can you have a seat, please?
No,
Mr. Atkinson.
no, I'm not. I'm not.
290 Cookville. Can you please have a seat?
No.
Put that down. Stop. Mr. Atkinson, Right now you're obstructing a police officer, which is a jailable offense. I'm asking you one more time to sit down.
The independent report goes on to note that Officer Smiley's additional error was his misunderstanding about what his reasonable suspicion allowed him to do. The officer continued to ask Mr. Atkinson for his date of birth at various times throughout the contact. Even if he had reasonable suspicion, Officer Smiley was not entitled to that information. Although Colorado is a stop and identify state, Colorado Revised Statute 16-3-103 only grants officers the authority to acquire a suspect's name, address, and an explanation of their actions, not their date of birth. According to the statute, suspects only have to produce an ID if it is readily available. The independent report went on to declare that Mr. Atkinson was not committing the crime of obstructing a police officer.
Exactly. That's the first thing I thought. I'm like, how is he obstructing a police officer? He's not doing that.
By refusing to surrender his date of birth, and that Officer Smiley's misunderstanding of reasonable suspicion and what it allowed him to do.
This dude don't know. He don't know his own job, bro. He don't even know how to do his own job correctly, man. That's the thing too. Man, that is so dangerous on so many levels. On so many levels. It's dangerous for the would-be suspect and it's dangerous for the cop.
Prolonged the incident and was the cause of Mr. Atkinson's anger and frustration.
He angering and frustrating himself by not knowing his own freaking... Look, I keep having to move side to side.
And you're not going to arrest me. You're not going to do anything. Because I live here. And I didn't do anything wrong.
Last chance, sir.
For what?
Have a seat.
For what? For what?
Sit
You're
down.
going to arrest
Right now I'm detaining you and investigating you for a trespass.
You're going to... I live here, dumb.
Sit down. Sit down.
No. $290.
Yeah, it's a... What would you guys do in this situation? I'm trying to think what would I do in this situation, because to some degree, like I feel like this man might be feeling like he is being treated unfair and he may be potentially in a dangerous situation if he complies with what this police officer is asking him. That's how I would feel. I would feel that I'm being treated unfairly, which he is, and I would feel that if I comply with what this officer wants, then it's going to be a worse situation for me. Let me keep exercising my rights. That's how I would feel.
Have a seat, please.
You're going to tase me outside of my residence? I hope that
Drop
camera's
that.
on.
Put that down.
I hope the camera's on, sir.
Put that down.
No, I'm working.
You need to
I live
listen to
here.
what I'm telling you to
Is
do
that my
right now.
address? I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything
290,
illegal.
we're on
I haven't done
the
anything
east
wrong.
side of
So I'm not gonna
2333
listen.
Folsom.
I don't
Subject's
know
failing
you.
to comply,
You're actually
not
on my
sitting down,
property,
and
and
he
I
has
feel
some
unsafe.
kind of a blunt object.
You heard him. He said, you're actually on my property and I feel unsafe.
Here,
I wish this dude would have cranked the audio up on the chest cam and yeah.
Officer Smiley refers to the trash grabber in Mr. Atkinson's hand as a blunt object to the responding officers en route. This is an important detail because...
See, that's dangerous, man. Oh my God, you're saying that he has a blunt object. So guess what? These cops are going to come ready to fight. They're going to come probably with their guns drawn out. Because of a statement like this, this dude is not thinking about hitting you with that thing.
Officer Smiley is the only officer on the scene, and the other officers on their way can only gauge the situation they are responding to based on the information relayed by Smiley.
Exactly. Exactly. And usually cops are going to, first thing they're going to do is believe what other cop is saying. The cop that's on scene is going to believe him 100% until they get there and are able to assess the situation themselves. And they're going to, first of all, go off of what the cop was saying.
By describing the trash grabber as a blunt object, Officer Smiley is implying that Mr. Atkinson is weaponizing the grabber, given the ambiguous nature of the radio chatter and the context of his earlier calls for backup.
Dangerous.
The responding officers could easily assume that they are entering into a dangerous or violent situation, but Mr. Atkinson has shown no signs of aggression toward the officer, and the blunt object in Mr. Atkinson's hand is hardly a threat to anyone's safety.
I'm just gonna follow until my cover gets here. Have a seat. Sit down.
I'm not sitting anywhere.
Sit down. Now.
Why?
Now. Do it now.
Why? Why?
I'm detaining you to investigate.
What? For
Investigative
what?
trespass.
I live here. You
You haven't confirmed that. Sit down.
I'm a student.
Sit down and I'll
I'm not
confirm it.
sitting anywhere.
Sit down now.
Poor dude.
Sit down.
I'm not sitting down.
Then you're probably gonna get tased in a second.
Why?
Because you have a weapon. Put that
I
down.
have a weapon.
Put it down and comply with my orders.
That's not what you're doing, officer.
Do
You
it.
better think, because I could get lawyers, and you have a
You-
camera on you.
It's filming right now.
You're an idiot.
Have a
Why
seat,
would you think
please.
that you could tase me?
He really is an idiot, though.
I'm freaking picking up trash on my property.
I need to confirm
Which
it.
is where I live.
There's a sign.
I'm not doing anything illegal, and you're not gonna fucking tase me, officer.
Yo, I hope this dude sued and got a nice juicy settlement, man. One that covered his 4-year college tuition. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he got like $250,000, so he got a nice cushion after he paid off that $80K debt. You know what I'm saying?
So
Sit
how do
down.
you think about that?
Sit down.
How do you feel about that, sir?
Sit
How
down
do you feel about
now.
that, sir?
The dude is interesting. Like, I can't make out his nationality, and his hair is strange.
And get your freaking lieutenant here. All
They're
right?
on the way.
Yeah, good. Jackass.
Sit down now. I'm giving you another order to sit down.
He looked like a bum, but not a bum. I'm being so judgmental right now. That's what I do.
You're filming. So you know I didn't do anything wrong. So you can't tase
290,
me.
we're now
You won't
behind
tase me. You're gonna wait for the
2333
lieutenant,
Folsom.
and you're gonna
Subject still failing to
You're
comply.
gonna get some sir. Not
Sit
me.
down, sir.
No, I'm not sitting anywhere. You're not in control here. This is my property. I live here, not you.
Sit
Not
down
you.
so I can
live here.
continue
I
my
feel
investigation.
unsafe Because you just
Sit down.
threatened to tase me.
Sit down.
I feel unsafe. No, point the camera here.
You have a dangerous object in your hand and you're failing to put it down.
I'm picking up trash.
He's like, I have a dangerous object. No, I'm picking up trash.
Put it down.
gonna
You're
shoot
being
me.
detained.
Your hand is on your weapon, and you're gonna shoot me? That's what you're gonna do, officer?
Bro, this is crazy. Because the energy that this cop is giving off right now, second with the fact that he has his hand on his weapon, third with the fact that other police officers are showing up at the scene, and this dude is still holding this grabber, this trash grabber. I hope they don't put bullets in this man for no reason.
290, we're still
You're
behind
gonna shoot a resident on
2333
his
Folsom.
property for
Subject
picking up
is failing to
trash.
comply.
That's what you're gonna do, officer?
Sit down, sir.
Why don't you use your brain?
I asked you several times.
Use your intelligence. Are you gonna kill me?
Several times I've asked you.
Your hand is on your weapon.
Yes,
I feel
it is.
threatened. That's
I
a
threatened
gun.
because you're not
That's a
putting that
gun.
down. Yes, it is.
I'm picking up trash.
Put it down. I told you
And he sees him picking up trash with that thing. That's the crazy part.
many times to put it down.
And you're holding a gun.
Put it down.
And you're holding a gun.
Sir, put it down.
And you're holding a gun. How do you feel?
Put it down,
How do
sir.
you feel, officer? How do you feel? You're
Put
holding
it down.
a gun. How do you feel?
Sit down on the ground like
How
I've
do you
told
feel?
you many times
Or
before.
you're gonna shoot me? Or you're gonna shoot me, officer?
If you use
See this the thing, because like if you paying attention to it, even though there's a part of me that want this young man to put down everything that he has in his hands just for his own safety. For his own safety, I want him to put all this stuff down. But he's being logical and reasonable. The cop, all logic, all reason has been thrown completely out the window from the jump. This is why I strongly feel that cops need psychological evaluations yearly. yearly to make sure that they think properly, because this is dangerous for everybody involved. This is crazy, man. I'm irritated. I am irritated. And I feel like this happens way more than you guys realize. There's been at least 2 incidents with involvements that I've had with police officer where I was sane with what it is that I had to say. I made perfect sense with everything that I had to say, but they're viewing me as a criminal because they have that uniform on. I'm like, yo, are you not listening to what I'm saying? And they just throw it, all logic, all reason, out the window because they're so keen on wanting to be right. And for them having their way because they have a uniform on and a badge instead of listening to reason. They don't. Not all. But I have yet to come across a cop and been in a situation where the cop was reasonable. Well, no, that's a lie. My last encounter, the cop was reasonable, even though he still gave me a ticket. I guess he thought about it later because I tried to pay the ticket a couple of weeks ago and it was null and void. It was no ticket thing. I don't know. I guess he thought about it later. I'm like, damn, bro, look, you said you was on my side.
That weapon against me, then yes, that is a consideration. All you have to do is comply right now.
Officer, you're gonna shoot me.
Just have a seat, man.
Shoot me? Are you kidding me?
All I want to do is figure this out with you.
Camera on this guy.
Sit down. Sit down.
Yo, somebody, hey.
Right.
Somebody in 2333, get a camera on this officer. He has a gun in his hand, and he's gonna shoot me. And he's gonna shoot me. You got a camera? Exactly. That's my boy, Zinio, right there. This is my
we're
residence.
just to the east of
You're on my
Backcountry
property with a gun in your hand.
Sit down.
To shoot me because I'm picking up trash. I hope that
Sit
camera's
down.
on camera. Where's your lieutenant?
Just sit down.
Where's your lieutenant?
Asking for the lieutenant, as you should.
Camera on you. You're gonna go to
Sir,
jail.
sit down.
Dude, you're not gonna get away with murder. You're not. Not today.
290, it's
Not
gonna be
today.
right.
This dude is ready. He's ready. He is ready. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say the word YouTube sensitive.
You're not gonna get away with murder.
Sit down.
I'm not sitting down.
Look, I don't want this to go any further, but you need to
You're
comply
gonna
with my
shoot me?
orders.
I don't have a weapon.
That's a weapon.
This is a bucket.
No, that's a weapon. Right
This
there.
is a clamper for picking up garbage, sir.
Put it down. I'm telling you, I'm threatened
It's
by
not
it.
a weapon. You're not
He
threatened.
said
I'm
he's threatened by it. Man, that thing... Have you ever tried to slung that thing? It bends. It bends when you... because it has a little arm, elbow right in the middle of it. It has to bend. So if he tries to swing, it's just going to bend. That thing really ain't going to hurt you. It's a super light piece of aluminum. The same type of aluminum they used to use for ladders back in the WWE wrestling days. I don't know if they still do that. Table ladders and chairs stuff. Those ladders are so... Look, that aluminum is weak. You're going to hurt the aluminum. The aluminum ain't going to hurt you.
Gun that kills people. How am I supposed to kill someone with
Sit
this?
down, sir.
Dude, no. Keep that.
Sit
that
down.
on. He's got a gun in his hand. I'm gonna
Sit
shoot
down.
the shit out of you.
You sound
I go
like...
to university here.
Sit down. You're refusing to comply with my orders.
I'm not sitting down. I'm not sitting down, and you can't make me. Officer, he's got a gun.
Sit down.
He's got a gun.
Have a seat.
He's got a gun. He's
Sit
got
down.
a gun.
The first responding officer arrives on the scene.
And what does he do? Reach for his weapon as well. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Look, cops side with cops first before they'll ever side with a civilian. Think I'm wrong. Think I'm wrong.
And immediately
Just like with teachers at school.
draws his taser. Over the course of the next 10 minutes, a total of 9 officers arrive. They did not all arrive at the same time, and not all stayed until the incident's conclusion. But for most of the 13-minute period from the first cover officer's arrival until the scene was cleared, there were 8 officers, including Officer Smiley, on the scene and visible to Mr. Atkinson, surrounding him on 3 sides. The independent report notes that one reason so many officers responded was because Officer Smiley told dispatch that, quote, the citizen was still not complying and had a blunt object in his hand.
What do you mean? This is my property. This is my
290, we're
house.
still
I
giving
live
him verbal
here.
commands, trying to get him to comply. Sit down and drop that object.
I don't have to do
Sit
anything.
down and drop it.
I'm on duty doing my work and my job, and this officer comes over here and
Drop the object.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude. You gotta, bro. As much as I'm on your side, and as right as you are, when you have one officer being dumb, the likelihood of the rest of them showing up and being just as dumb is gonna be very high. And I'm not saying that the cops are dumb all the time. I'm just saying they're dumb to this situation because they don't know what they're getting themselves into. So it makes perfect sense that they would come to the scene with the energy that they're coming with. That's any and every cop. I would do the same. If I was a police officer and I had to come to the scene hearing what I heard, I'm going to treat the situation the same as the one that's there before me. It's unfortunate. You should just comply at this point. You see, hey, there's some backup. If you didn't trust him, calm down enough and maybe you can trust one of these other officers.
No, I'm not doing anything.
Have a seat. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it.
Why do you...
Bro, they will shoot you over a bucket and a freaking grabber, dog. You need to just put it down. Look at these two over here. They don't know what to think. They're ready to blast. If you come charging at any one of them with that thing, which I doubt that you will, they'll put some holes in you.
You all four of them look, dude, all
The
four...
police are telling you to do something. Do it.
You have a gun in your...
It's a very, very uncomfortable situation. That's why I don't like the power. I don't like the power dynamic. It's like the police telling you to do something, do it. Like, you don't want to do it because it's like, yo, I haven't done anything wrong at all. This is messed up. This is messed up.
Yes, I do, because you're not listening.
You have a gun
You
in
have
your
a
hand. I
weapon.
don't have a
Drop
weapon.
the weapon. Drop it.
I don't have a weapon.
Drop it now.
Focus on me. What are you doing? Focus no, what do you mean? Focus
Drop
on
it
you. There's
now.
6 of you.
Just drop it.
Really? This is my property.
We're not going anywhere. You need to drop it. I haven't confirmed that yet. I told you I'm investigating a trespass. You didn't give me your address.
2333. I live in room 304.
That's the first time. Have a seat.
You are threatening me on my property. I live here.
Hey, listen.
I'm a resident
The first thing you
of
need
this
to drop
property.
that item.
I'm picking up garbage from my door. I go to school here.
Drop it. Just drop it.
You saw that? Did y'all catch that? This man right here, he has that look on his face like, I believe him. He has that look right now like, I believe him. And he's looking over to his fellow cop over here on to the left of him. He's like, bro, why are you harassing this man?
Just drop it and sit.
Here. Don't tell me what to do. You guys don't have a gun right to be doing this to me.
Sit down.
I'm a
and drop
citizen
it.
of this country.
Sit
I
down.
pay my taxes. I am a student, and all of you have weapons drawn, and I
Sit
feel
down.
threatened.
Sit down and drop that
No.
object.
I will not sit down. I refuse to sit down until you guys put your weapons away.
Watch this. Watch
Put your gun weapons away.
right there. Can we talk?
Put your gun away.
Have a seat.
Put your gun away.
Have a seat.
Put your gun away, and I will
I'm not
talk
putting
to
my
you.
gun away.
Then I'm not doing a goddamn thing.
Back up
Because you
and have a
came onto
seat.
my property with your weapons drawn, threatening me
Have a seat,
at the
sir.
place that I sleep.
Back up.
How do you feel about that?
Back up.
How do you feel about
Back
that?
up and sit down, please.
Tell me what to do. You're gonna shoot me?
No one's gonna shoot
Or you're gonna tase me and arrest me and beat the shit out of me like every other. Don't tell me what to do. Get off my property. Get off my property.
I'm asking you your name.
Get off my property.
I'm Officer Park.
Great.
You want to tell me your name?
Why should I have to?
Because then we can have an adult conversation.
Adult conversation now.
Yeah.
You want to have an adult conversation after your deputy pulled his gun on me.
I do want to talk to you. Yes.
Really?
That's
You
correct.
got it all on camera.
Yep, I do want to talk to you.
So how do you feel about that, sir?
Well, why don't you tell me your name and then we'll have a conversation.
Just talk to my partner.
This man done pulled up with a whole riot shield.
I think that is okay with me. I don't feel like having how many strangers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 officers of the law with guns drawn. With guns drawn.
Of all
Yo, this is crazy.
of the officers present at any point during this interaction, Officer Smiley was the only one to keep his firearm unholstered. Officer Smiley was holding his handgun for 7 minutes of the 20-minute interaction. Among the other officers present, one had an orange, less than lethal beanbag shotgun slung over his shoulder for approximately 12 minutes. One had his handgun unholstered for less than 1 minute, and one had his taser unholstered for approximately 2 minutes. No other weapons of any type were unholstered. No officer pointed any weapon of any type at Mr. Atkinson at any time during the interaction. Mr. Atkinson and a Naropa University student filming the standoff on his cell phone from inside the dormitory both stated that multiple officers were pointing guns at Mr. Atkinson. According to the report, all of the video evidence, including that student's, demonstrate that this was false.
On my property, I'm picking up trash from
Alright, so he lied about that. He said that guns were being pointed at him,
my
but no.
job. He will refuse to put his weapon away. He refuses to put his weapon away, which is the first thing I asked for. You want my name.
Yep, I'm Officer Park.
And you have weapons drawn. You guys look like you're ready to go.
I got empty
You're ready to go, right?
You won't
Just talk to him.
I'm not too why. Why I gotta talk to him? Because you can't handle
Well,
your
you don't seem to want to talk to
No, dude, you called the whole
So he's stating that correctly right now. He's saying you guys have weapons drawn. He's not saying that you guys are pointing weapons at me. He's saying that you guys have weapons drawn. But yet he lied later on and said that, you know, two officers pointed weapons at him.
cavalry.
You're not
For what?
listening.
For what?
You're not listening.
favor, just don't get any closer, okay? Can I step in and talk to you?
For what?
Here we can see a responding officer opening the building door to speak to two residents who confirmed that Mr. Atkinson lives at the building. The officer then begins to employ de-escalation techniques in an attempt to defuse the situation.
Weapons drawn. Put your
You need to put that down. I'm not putting my
Are you
gun
gonna
away.
shoot me? There's cameras everywhere, dude. Are you gonna shoot me?
My plan is not to
Dude,
shoot
you
you.
said this is a weapon.
It can be used as a
Do you
weapon,
feel like this
yes.
is threatening? Yeah.
Can you put it away? Can you just drop it on the ground? I'll put my gun down.
You're on my property.
No, set it down.
If you put that down, I'll put my gun away.
Why?
I told you why, because it can be used as a weapon.
Used as a weapon.
Right.
You're a jack.
There you go. That's all I need.
Put your gun away.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah.
Okay, could you have a seat over here? Now we can talk.
I'm not sitting. You can sit.
Hey, Zane.
What?
Okay, these nice people here told me that you are a resident.
Oh, wow.
So, Zane,
What a
that's
surprise.
what we were trying to find out, okay?
What a
Just-
surprise. I gave him my ID,
Okay.
and then he started taking down my information, telling me this, that, and the other thing. And then I walk away, and he pulls his taser out
So,
on me.
Zane, I'm listening to you, and I just appreciate it you do so. Okay? So, Zane, if you were willing to sit down, this would bring everything down a little bit, and we can start
I
going down and doing
I
your job.
do not feel comfortable sitting down around a bunch of murderers.
Okay. So, Zane.
This guy was ready to kill me, sir.
Okay, so Zane, once again, I'm Officer Park.
Oh, you're just gonna ignore what I just said, though.
No, I'm just trying to communicate.
Okay.
As adult men.
Right.
Okay? So I think you can hear the fact that I'm just trying to be professional with you here.
No.
And get
Okay.
some communication going so where we can get this resolved. Because
Unbelievable.
I now found out who you are. I found out that you're a resident here.
I gave him my ID. He knew who I was. I said my name was okay? How is that okay?
I'm understanding you're upset.
What do you mean you're understanding I'm upset?
Now at this point, I'm wondering what could have happened or what would have happened had Zane, I think that's Mr. Atkinson, complied. If he complied from the jump, what would have happened? Could this whole thing been avoided if he would have just sat down, gave the officer any and every bit of information that he wanted to, that the officer wanted and needed from him, even though the officer definitely did not go by protocol? What would have happened then?
Came out with a shotgun. Of course I'm upset. He pulled out his gun
his weapon.
and said that I'm a threat.
Trying to get him to comply.
On my own property, I'm a threat because I'm picking up garbage.
Take a step back or two from me, okay, so that I can feel.
Why don't you get off my property?
Okay.
Why don't you get off my property?
What I'm trying to resolve.
Why don't you get off my property and stop telling me what to do at my house? How about that?
If you were willing to sit down, we could talk about
I'm not sitting down.
Okay.
Why don't you go home, officer?
Right.
And why don't you guys go find some real criminals instead of wasting my time?
Real talk. Real talk.
I fucking think this is a joke. I fucking live here. You were ready to shoot me down. And you didn't know a goddamn thing. You're wasting all our fucking resources.
I didn't even point my gun
You're
at you,
wasting
sir.
all our resources. There's people out there actually committing crimes.
Like, can I
How do
tell
you
you
feel?
something? Can I
How
tell
do
you something?
Feel? You're ready to jump out of your skin because you know you made a dumb
Exactly.
mistake today.
Can I tell you something?
No. I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
I want you to get
Why
off
don't
my
you talk to
property.
my partner?
I don't want to talk to any of
Right
you
now, I need you to
boys.
sit down
I
so
want
we
you
can
guys to
figure
get
it
off
out.
my property and stop wasting my.
See, that's the whole thing too, because really at this point, he couldn't be more right. The dude was there for what reason? He's investigating something that has to do with trespassing. He's there to get the wrong one. It's been verified that this dude lives here. All of them should be walking away right now, getting in their squad cars and driving off. You had 2 or 3 people inside of this apartment building. Let it be known that this man actually does live there. You're there for the wrong person, or you're there for the wrong reason. There's nothing else that you need from him, like zero. Like nothing. You don't need to talk to him about nothing else. Y'all were there for a trespassing incident. He's not trespassing. He lives there. He's cleaning up the neighborhood. Are you kidding me? Y'all need to leave, but y'all want, it's that power dynamic. It's that power trip that y'all on. Y'all want him to calm down by your say. By your doing. Y'all want him to sit down so that y'all can have control. Why have control? You want to be in the right when you're wrong. You want him to make, y'all trying to get him to the point where y'all make him feel as though he's done something wrong when he hasn't at all. Y'all want people to comply to you when they don't have to. That's the issue here. If you want to watch the rest of this video, I have it linked down in the description box below. I'm sick. I'm sick. See ya.